Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is my Umbral Equniox Dusk LUFENIA fight where I brought Layle, Tidus, Warrior of Light, and a Garland friend. These guys have an orb that requires you to put some type of HP brave poison, pretty much, like a, I guess regular poison, right? Something like Ferris's Call, Sarah, things like that. And by doing that, it's going to give you a +1 for the orb count, and the turn count is 60. So very, very tight turn count here. And these guys are immune to Paralyze, Fluke, Block, Sleep, Confuse, Terror. The only thing they're not immune to is HP Disable. So you could bring Narciella, you can bring Kefka, you can bring Shantoto. These guys are very, very tanky. You need to put a lot of defense down on these guys. As you can see with Ferris's Call, things like that. I believe with Tidus is also defense down. I'm still not capping. And I thought that Warrior of Light kind of paired with Layle would be pretty good, because here, like for example with Geo Impact, Layle is going to launch one of the enemies, but since it's an AoE attack, it's gonna leave B ready for launch, and then like right here with Warrior of Light, giving Brave or battering the party. I mean, you can see that right there. Technically I think almost double, you kind of double Warrior of Light's damage, because you're bringing, obviously, because everybody's doing the launch as well. And if I would have just used, I think, the Shining Shield, I would have only done like maybe like 100,000 damage or so, where now I did like over 200,000. So I feel like Layle really enhances, in a way, Warrior of Light. They just kind of accommodate each other pretty good. But the orb is going to appear at 79%. Again, you need some type of sap poison, so as long as they have 5,000 brave or less after they take a turn, the orb is going to go up by 1. So you gotta, it's pretty much a damage race. So as you can see there, I mean, typically when you use Warrior of Light, he's only doing about 109,000 damage. But if you can initiate a launch with Layle and an AoE, with an AoE attack, then then you follow up with Warrior of Light, you're gonna deal some pretty good damage. Then other characters that you could bring in here to help you with this is going to be like Setzer, Waka, Golbez. Golbez, because of his burst, if you have his burst, doesn't allow them to I think to gain any brave on any of their attacks. So after their attack, obviously they're gonna still be down to 0. That should help with the orb. Setzer, I mentioned Setzer. And then they are going, one of the biggest things about these guys, besides being super, super tanky, is that they are gonna inflict an HP poison on your party, and at 79%, it's gonna be Fluke 3, and Fluke 3 is, it's gonna lower down your attack by 20% and do HP poison. So you definitely need to bring in some type of healer. I'm not sure if Aerith would be able to stop those debuffs. So you'll see right now, the brave hits are pretty low, because they do lower down your attack a substantial amount. And that is what made the fight also go just a little bit longer than I would have liked it to. Just for the sense that it would have been better, I think, if I would have brought in some type of dispeller, or even even Aerith, if Aerith could prevent the Fluke debuff from happening. Also, if you want to just end up buffing your party and maxing them out with just a bunch of buffs, if you can, To this day, I don't know. I don't think I've ever maxed out everybody on buffs. I'm not sure how you would do that, but hey, in the comments, if you've done it and you have a good, you know, certain calls that would be able to do that, or team comps, put it down in the comments. But here you'll see that A's orb is getting down pretty low, so I just can't repeatedly attack with Tidus here. I do have to let A act. So here it's got to make sure that whatever attack I do, well, not next, here I can do a quick hit, orb comes down to 2. Now the orb did not go down to 2. I think that's just because they are, I thought it was +1 after the attack, but as long as they have less than 5,000, I think the orb kind of like stays where it's at. So there goes, there's the fluke again. I think it missed Warrior of Light. And then here, I totally messed up. I wasted Jack's call. They already had 8 debuffs. I, for some reason, thought they had 7. I just kind of looked up and I said, and I thought there was space for one more instead of just counting. So that's, I think, another reason why the fight took a little longer than what I was expecting it to. I really messed up Jack's call there. And then the plan was obviously Jack into Garland. Garland is going to allow everybody to start doing more damage, hopefully getting close to capping. But yeah, I think that would have definitely saved me some time if I wouldn't have messed up Jack's call there. But it's still doable, so even without, you know, let's say for example like Jack's call, but it is going to take you, I think, a little bit longer. Again, Pandemonium was in here because of all the launches, all the extra damage that you could do during the launch as well. And I wouldn't suggest, I don't know if this could be done, maybe it can be done with like a Dash or Leon. I mean, they're not doing a ton of damage, so yeah, I don't think that you're gonna be able to do it under a 60 turn count. You're gonna have to bring in big damage to this fight in order to complete it. So, you know, Tifa, I think even Sephiroth will work, because Sephiroth's, say, burst, or even if you brought in a Sephiroth friend and you bursted, Sephiroth is gonna, you know, always put their HP down to 1. So technically kind of keeping the orb where it's at. So you notice that the orb will not move because you're taking the turn. So like, say for example, A's orb should go down to 2. But because they have less than 5,000 Brave, you're going to get a +1. So just, you're keeping the orb exactly where it's at. And here, at least with Garland and the debuffs that are up, I think that he does have the fluke on. He's still doing a good amount of damage. I think in certain skills he did cap, I think, on the first move. But I did end up picking up Tidus's, I did token Tidus's burst. I just think he's a really useful character, and you know, I like him. I think that maybe there's a chance I should have saved my burst tokens for like Ace or you know, some of the burst plus, early burst plus characters. I think the very first couple of burst characters are gonna be, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Y'shtola and Zidane. And I don't have any of Zidane's kit, but I think that maybe Zidane would have I don't know, it's hard to say. I should have probably saved the burst tokens for him, but the thing is that I had so many burst tokens that were about to expire. I think I had like 10 or something like that, between like 6 to 10 that were gonna expire. So I just said, you know, what the heck, why not? Now, I do have a bunch of burst duplicates, burst weapon duplicates, so I can easily get back right up to 50 and token somebody else's burst, but I don't know if that's going to be Zidane. I think when it comes down to the burst plus era, I think Ace is a probably much better investment for using my burst tokens. So not unless I have to pick up Zidane for some reason. But I mean, I don't think I like Zidane's burst, but I haven't seen that or haven't heard of that at all. So I think that I should be fine. I will be pulling for Zidane's LD. I think he gets reworked, things like that. So, and that's when the burst plus phase start. As far as here, you guys see we're at 30, the turn count of 30. I already bursted with Tidus, and I'm just trying to maximize or take advantage of the Garland's Friend's burst effect by just attacking as much as I can with Tidus. And here, I mean, it's just pretty much a Tidus fight. That's really what it becomes here. Just because with his effect, his burst effect, and then Garland's burst effect, and then having Ferris's defense down, and then Kurisame's debuff as well, is just, that's what it's allowed me to dish out all this damage, because beforehand I wasn't. Now if I would have had Jax, if I would have utilized Jack's call correctly, then I think it could have gone again, like I said, a little bit faster. I mean, here I am capping, so it's not too bad. And so as long as you keep these guys broken, you guys, I mean, the turn count is not going to go up at all. And even if they take a turn, and then you know you have the sap and poison, I mean, at this point Ferris is super crucial here. But it's not too bad of a fight, honestly. It's really not. It's almost just like, I think, any other fight where you have to keep breaking and delaying and things like that. I mean, that's technically what you're doing here, right? When you do that, they're not going to have any brave. And as soon as they get brave, I think that, you know, having these two burst effects on, things like that, you're gonna be able to bring down that brave real quickly. And just in case you see that you can't, I mean, you could always summon, you know, and break them that way. They rarely do brave gain, like massive brave gains. And so you'll see here that most of the damage will be done between when I brought out the Garland Friend and I bursted with Tidus, because you are kind of capping on damage. But other than that, that's it. That's fight's pretty easy. Here they just get out of their break, but there you go. Just any type of AoE attack, and the orb count won't go up. You can delay them obviously forever. That's where you can bring in also like somebody like Cloud. Cloud would be good. Sephiroth, I think I should have maybe brought Sephiroth. I'm trying to use Sephiroth as much as I can, since I did blue. He was my first blue, my only blue, and I know that other characters might have been a better investment. Like, I should probably blue Tifa, never did. I used her so much. But he is my favorite character in Final Fantasy, so and he does a good amount of damage. I like his burst effect, so I said, what the hell, why not? So I gave him the blue. And I could have used him here, and I probably should have used him here. I think that you could also maybe do like a Terra, maybe even Cloud of Darkness and Core team. That has been like the go-to, or like I think one of the #1 teams for all these past couple LUFENIA fights. And although the sap and the poison is useful, I think that I mean, once I went through this fight, I noticed that it's just about breaking them. And then one thing you'll notice too is that when you are in the summon phase and you end up breaking them or anything like that, the orb count is actually going to go up, because when you're in burst or summon, the orb is not going to count down. It pauses, right? So if it pauses, but then you take a turn and they have less than 5,000 brave, you're going to get a +1. So if the orb is paused but you're getting a +1, then the orb count is actually going to go up. So you have two different ways of actually increasing the orb count, and normally when you're not in burst or summon, the orb is either going to stay the same or it's going to go down, but you really can't bring that up. Now, I did defeat one of them and I didn't read the notes, but when you defeat one of them, the other one will actually get a heal. It'll auto heal himself for I think like 10% or something like that of its max HP. So it's gonna, I think it's gonna do like another 900k, it restored itself about 900k because I did defeat one. Now, when you do defeat one, the other one does raise its stats. So here, I made the mistake of not trying to get rid of both of them. I didn't see or didn't notice that one of them would gain massive stat boost by defeating the other one. I think in the past fights, last couple fights, you could defeat one, and that way you just worried about one orb. But here, this part definitely doing that prolonged the fight just a little bit longer. And I was also worried that I probably might have not met the orb count or the turn count, because we are around 48. So as long as I'm dealing about 1% damage per turn, then we're good to go. I think that with Layle it's not a big deal, but if you can notice here, I mean, even during the launch phases, it's like right there, every 100,000 is about 1% or so. So technically I have to do as much damage as I can on each turn here. If not, I'm not gonna make it. So if I were to go back, I would try to defeat both of them at the same time, if not get them as close to each other as possible. Even afterwards though, if you don't defeat them at the same time, they're still gonna gain, I think it's, 10%. So you're gonna kind of run through this, I guess, issue if you can't really deal, or you can't strategize how to defeat them both at the same time. But it ends up working. It doesn't really become a big deal. I was a bit worried, but then here, 4%, 7 turns left. And then what helps as well is obviously Tidus is quick hit and taking instant turns and stuff like that. I could say that I guess Warrior of Light at the end also came in handy, just because of a Shining Shield with the Brave gain, where he doesn't have to really depend on increasing his Brave by hitting the enemy. And that's it. Barely made it. I think it was a 57 turn count. Orb was 60. And HP damage requirements were 20,000. So enough leg room there. And yeah, good luck with the mission, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for new content. Also, let me know in the comment section what you think about this mission and who you used to complete it. Check the links in the description for Opera Omnia websites that give you a bunch of helpful information, and I'll see you on the next one.